Welcome, welcome. Hello, lovely writers, to another Writerly Wednesday. Today, we're going to jump into something that came up even last week. If I'm honest, it comes up every week, multiple times, every week of the year, every decade. And this is, how do you know when to reach out for support? Oftentimes, as I've talked about before, we think of writing as a very solo process, and it absolutely is when you're talking about getting words on the page. Even for those of you who have maybe done sort of a group writing session, whether it was in person, back before COVID, or now virtually, where you're kind of doing like a get it done writing scenario and you all collect together. I imagine, because I've not run one myself, but I imagine everybody gets on, you say hello, you try to feel that communal high vibration of we're gonna get our writing done, and then everybody gets quiet and actually just head down with pen and paper or on the laptop, and they're getting their writing done, right? But sometimes that's not quite enough. Right? We need more of a spark. We lose our way a little bit. And this happens equally to those who are new to writing, as well as those who are very, very experienced. But how do you know when you need something a little bit more? Well, I've got 3 times there, by no means an exhaustive list, clearly, but 3 times when you really should reach out. And then we'll talk a little bit about where are the places you could reach out, because they are not all created equal and they needn't all be paid, okay? So the first is when you are really unsure what to write. And by that, I mean, it's not that you don't have multiple topics that you could write, but somehow whenever you sit down to write, you feel sort of confused. Should I write on this one? Should I write on that one? I don't know if I'm being led by my feelings or by my intellect. I don't know what to write. And then you kind of write nothing. So that's number 1, when you're unsure what to write. And if I can unpack this a little bit more, it would really be around getting past that internal editor, right? I should write this versus this. And the reason you need to reach out for help is because depending on the person you reach out to, they can help you unlock it. It's like a blind spot. Oftentimes we can't see it ourselves, and we simply need to have a conversation. And again, we'll go into who are the sorts of people that can help you through that particular problem. Now, the second time I think that as a writer you need to reach out is when you intend to write, maybe every single morning, and then somehow you get to the end of the day and you never do. If this goes on for a while, and I have other videos on when procrastination is actually a problem and when it's actually part of your process, but I would say that if this continues over and over and you're going from weeks to months, you need to reach out. You definitely need to reach out, because in the conversation, again, with particular people, we'll talk about, you can unlock what's actually happening and get yourself reinvigorated so that you no longer go from failed intention to actually sitting down and making progress. That's the point. I've talked about it a few weeks ago. It's now about practice makes progress, not practice makes perfect. And this is really, really important. So if that's you, if you've had the intention to do your writing on the daily or the weekly and it's still not happening, that's an indicator you need to reach out to get some support. Now, the third time is actually a really practical one. And this comes into play oftentimes for those who are really experienced with writing, but maybe, like I've talked about again in past videos, if you are a multitasking author, if you have a deadline that you need to meet and you've been giving it a go and you're starting to feel that overwhelm bubble up and the deadline is approaching, that is an indicator you need to reach out. Now, you can always make an agreement that feels right for you, but this is one of those places where it does you no good to say, hey, but I've done this so many times before, I should be able to do it on my own. Well, just unpack that rubbish and put it out with the trash, because there is no should here. In fact, if anything, if you've done it before, I want you to recognize sooner that a little bit of assistance can help you get going so much faster with so much more ease and joy. If you've been around here for a while, you know I'm all about you enjoying your writerly process. If you're not enjoying it, I kind of want you to take a break anyway. You need to examine why you're doing it. And if you're a real writer, I know that the process is not going to all be, rainbows and unicorns. It's not for most writers. In fact, oftentimes the complete opposite. And yet, we fool ourselves with that internal editor will tell us, I've done this before, I should be able to go it alone. And in fact, again, the opposite is true. If, by the way, you are not already subscribed and you're finding this already a little bit helpful, you've got some light bulbs going on and some ahas, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications so you get notified every time I upload a video that could be helpful like this. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. If you hate it, you can hit the thumbs down. That's okay too. I like to know what you think about it. But look, now let's dive into some of the people you can reach out to, paid, unpaid. Well, like me, I do have some discovery calls that are free, and then I've got other processes that are like ongoing coaching. You needn't always buy into a paid thing. It could just be the spark that you need, right? So you could go to other writers that you know. Now, here's the caveat. I don't necessarily or at all want you to share your actual writing. We're not talking about critique at this point. We're talking about getting you back to your writing. And that is not about critique. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We want you to go in and lower the expectations. So this is the kind of support that you need for 1 and 2, right? When you don't know what to write, and or you intend to write, but it's not happening. What would be great is to talk to somebody who gets the creative process and can help you unpack some things. Help you identify whether you are really overthinking it and being really intellectual about what you can and can't do, because oftentimes it is that internal editor that's getting in the way. And a quick talk with somebody who gets the creative process can be all you need to unlock it. The third one probably takes somebody who's a little bit more practiced and could be a really great partner for you, accountability partner for you. So again, whether they're a writer or somebody that you know and love and trust that can keep you on track, that's what you need. Somebody to say they're going to be looking at my words, not judging, not critiquing, not editing at this point, but just looking at my words to show that I'm actually showing up for myself and for my writing because I'm on deadline. Just giving it that extra energy is really important. Again, you could go to somebody that is doing this and maybe you've got a reciprocal agreement, right? Or you can pay to get coaching. And that is oftentimes what I do. Maybe I've made a video or will make a video about this, about some of the myths about what is a writing coach. What should they do? If you are in the middle of writing a project and you haven't finished a complete manuscript, they should not be editing as you go. That is not what they do. They should be helping you unlock the best in your writing. And sometimes the best is simply you showing up as authentically, as vulnerably, as connected, right? The video from last week, as connected as possible. And that's what's really valuable. So vet these people. Find out if you really resonate with their energy. That's the person you want to go for. Editing is done down the track once you've finished your project, not now. The 3 things I've mentioned are all about getting yourself back to your writing and being really clear for yourself about when you need to reach out for a little bit of a boost. And we all need it. I need it, not just you. So that's it for this week. Do you have experience where you've come to that realization slowly or quickly that you know you need some support, some help getting yourself out of that feeling stuckness, or just getting more words out on the daily or the weekly basis so you can finish the manuscript? I would love to hear your stories, as always. And of course, if you've got something you want me to address in a Writerly Wednesday, please, you can share it below in the comments. You can send me a message, anjanette@storyaslife.com. If you haven't already, I really hope you give yourself the gift of spending some time with your writing this week. It really is worth it. You have a story to tell. Now is the time to tell it, right? Don't wait anymore. We need those words that you want to share. Until next time, I hope you have a beautiful writerly week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.